Hi everybody, Mountain Debrief. It is, It's February the 3rd. Wow, February the 3rd already. Just had a great day at Rusutsu Resort, so let's talk about Rusutsu, keep you up to date with what was happening there. Great conditions, so that you only need to watch the first 30 seconds of this video. I'll just tell you straight out. It was deep powder, it was great, we had a lot of fun. There was actually some sunshine in the morning, and then it started snowing again. And slopes on the west and northwest were a little wind affected with some whoops, but they were soft and nice. There you go. See, you can click away to another video now. But if you want to hear more details, stick around. So, went out to Rusutsu. It's a Saturday. I knew it was going to be kind of crowded. This is peak season. The Sapporo Snow Festival starts tomorrow and it runs for a week. And this is really when tourism just goes boom, the flights are full, people are coming in, just regular tourism, but then also obviously the powder, the snow, everybody's coming over. It's very busy. I knew it was going to be busy. Even on the road over, I could see a lot of cars on the road early in the morning, which you normally would not see at that time, on a weekday. So yeah, it was packed. I got there a little late. I got in the parking lot at East Mountain at about 8:10 a.m. A little more, 8:15, something like that. And it was rushing, There's that vibe. There was a vibe in the parking lot of oh man, I can see people over there. They're lining up already. We got to get over there. So I had a little crew to ride with and shoot with today. Some buddies over from Finland. And we had arranged to meet in between the quad and the gondola and decide what we were going to do. I got over there about 8:35, maybe 8:40, and people were pouring in, but the lineup to get on the Super East gondola was quite short. It was still on the stairs. It wasn't even down to the bottom of the stairs yet. And when it gets crowded, it stretches way out. So I told everybody, okay, we're all together. We got here. Let's just get right on the gondola and we'll do Super East first. Today, for some reason, most people seem to want to get on the quad. Now, the quad doesn't get you up as high, it gets you halfway up the mountain, and then you sort of ride and you traverse over to the Isola #1 quad, and you can kind of make your way over to the other courses. And it seemed like that was the vibe. Everyone was kind of heading in that quad direction. At 9, when they opened the gates and we got on the gondola, we looked out, and I'll put the photo as the thumbnail, so maybe you've already seen it. The line from the quad was huge. It went all the way out, and then it wrapped around and came back. And the same for the gondola at that point. It was all the way out, and then it turned around and it wrapped back. It had a very Disneyland kind of an atmosphere going on. There were a lot of people there lined up. So, why? Well, because the snow is epic right now. Yesterday at Rusutsu, I actually talked to someone in the lift line who had skied yesterday, and he said it was just deep, blower pow, and really bad visibility, and just dumping all day long. And that's pretty much what it was all around. Niseko, Kokusai, all these areas were getting a lot of snow and pretty much, blizzard conditions. And then late last night, it continued to snow heavily. Obviously, everyone is checking the webcams. They know what's going on. So everyone decided today was the day for Rusutsu. The powder itself was a really nice snow. Today's snow, in the trees, there were lines. There was some bumpiness, leftover lines from yesterday. So they were not completely filled in, but there was no real hard layer underneath. You could set an edge, you could lay into your tail and not worry about hitting something hard and getting bucked and thrown out of balance. It was a forgiving type of snow. You had that kind of nice, maybe packed but soft layer underneath with anywhere from 20 to 45 centimeters on top. Some areas were getting, kind of more wind-loaded areas were deep. There were some really deep sections. Some other areas had more. Maybe they had gotten hit with some winds directly. They were a little thinner, but there was still a nice layer of snow. So pretty much the whole mountain was good to go. Once everybody got out there, Rusutsu is so big and so spread out that you didn't really feel like the slopes or the tree runs were crowded by any means. But there were definitely people. Like, you couldn't just get to a spot and park up and have a conversation and be like, yeah, I think I'll go over there. There was pressure. You could feel people coming in from behind you or coming in from the side. When you see another crew come in, you're like, come on, we gotta go. And there was that kind of urgency to the riding in some aspects. And I think a lot of people spend a lot of money to come over here and ride the Japanese powder. I totally understand that. And it's pretty much a free-for-all out there. It's not like a restaurant where you're getting guided to your table, although some people are getting guided. There are a lot of guides out, a lot of people taking customers out to Rusutsu today as well. But all in all, I think a great day. There was some sunshine. There was sunshine and blue sky in the mornings. The sun was like just sitting there over like a little cloud layer and just getting in. It was absolutely gorgeous. And then by about 10, it was pretty much fully covered and snowing again, which is fine. No complaints there. So that was Rusutsu. I hope that covers everything. The restaurant, Steamboat, was pretty packed. Not the worst I've ever seen it, but it was pretty packed. The lineup to get a good latte at the little cafe latte shop was pretty long. I gave up. I wanted a good latte, but I gave up, man. I just can't stand in line that long. But now I've got my Lawson double espresso latte, 230 yen, one of the best bargains in Japan. A little latte for the drive home. And other than that, one more thing, just a note, a word to the wise, something to be careful about. If you're coming over to Japan, I think everybody wants to know like cultural things, what to be careful of, what to do, what not to do. Here's one for you. In the lift line today, there was a family of 4 that all had Genten snow surf boards. The 2 kids had them, mom and dad had them. The dad's was like it was one of the fish boards. I think it was the midfish, and it was beautiful. It must be pretty new. It was really clean. It had it all kind of like, it looked great. And the skier next to him, skiers kind of pushing themselves with their poles to get up in the lift line, and the guy kind of, boom, he hit the guy's board with his pole. And the dude was not too happy about that. He was kind of like, he was doing this kind of look, like he was looking at his board and looking at the dude, and was like, what just happened, man? This skier just like poked my $1,400 snowboard with his pole. He didn't he didn't get angry and yell at the guy or anything, but you could tell he was not super stoked on that. And it reminded me of that fact. Like, a lot of people here, both Japanese and foreign, spend a lot of money on their equipment, especially these, really, they're kind of like art pieces. The top layer of these boards, they're just beautiful. They're so well made. People will put like car wax on the top of their boards. Actually, that's really a pro tip for you. Snow will stick to the top sheet of your board sometimes, and it really sucks. Makes the board heavy and changes the flex. A little car wax on the top sheet of your board, buff that, and then all the snow just slides right off. Works great. But people do stuff like that to take care of their boards, and they really value their boards a lot more than I think in general people do in North America. Everybody I see from the States that comes over, their boards are just trashed and rusty, and they just cover it up with stickers or whatever. And here it's people really kind of appreciate their equipment a lot. So be careful in the lift line, scratching or running over people's boards, or just that kind of random stuff. Accidents happen, that's whatever. But if you're a little extra conscious about it, and maybe like look around, I always like to look around and see what other stuff people are riding, because it's kind of fun, and you can like see what people are doing. There was a guy today in the lift line. He had it had like an 80s kind of graphic. It was yellow with like green palm trees. It was a Niedecker board. And he was getting on the lift with his back foot strapped in and his front foot out. He was getting on the lift with the board backwards. Some people, it's rare, but every now and then you will see someone do that. Like he was a regular stance rider, but he was getting on the lift as a goofy. And I don't know what that is. I guess it's just more comfortable. Hey, maybe his left knee hurts when the board hangs on there. I don't know. But like little things like that. If you're just standing in the lift line, you can look around, and it's a great way to I like to talk to people and say, hey, nice board, nice skis, check that out, whatever. It's a little conversation starter. And then you can be conscious of what kind of equipment is around you. It's like at a stoplight, if a really expensive Porsche or some kind of car pulls up next to you, you kind of look at it and then you're like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to open my door or do anything crazy. All right, that little extended mountain debrief for you there. Hope that helps, and there will probably be another one tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Drive safe.